This didn't look like a clean break. This looked very gruesome. His foot basically facing the wrong direction. From your point of view, Dr. Tehrany, what do you think happened?
I think he's very unfortunate in the sense that when he landed, it led to a twist, and that led to a deformity. So instead of the ankle being straight like this, well, what I saw from the video, and all I saw was the video, the ankle then became deformed kind of like that. So it looks like the ankle fracture dislocation that he mentioned, involving probably the tibia and the fibula.
Oh man, so what does this surgery entail? Or, I mean, what can they attempt to do? What can doctors attempt to do today?
Well, first I have to qualify by saying all I saw was the video. I haven't seen the patient, so I have no idea the level of skin damage that the patient has. But in a case like this, if it is in fact an ankle fracture dislocation, the best way to proceed is to try to reduce that fracture dislocation. So take the fact that the ankle's dislocated and make it undislocated. Put it back where it kind of belongs first. That'll stabilize the ankle, that'll decrease the swelling, that'll help the patient. And then after that, it's going to be important to try to stabilize the bones and do the surgery.
Now, sometimes these sort of injuries can look worse than they actually are. The last one I remember eliciting this sort of reaction in basketball was Paul George. If there's no ligament damage, no nerve damage, is there a possibility this is not as bad as it looked?
From what I saw, which was just a short video, I'd be very surprised if there's no ligament damage because of the fact that the way in which you injure your ankle when it dislocates, you kind of have to rip some ligaments in order for that to happen. So, but that doesn't mean that his result won't be fantastic if they're lucky and all goes well. And we just need more details, and we have to just wait and see.
What would be a recovery time on something this significant?
You know, like I said, I don't know any of the details of how bad the situation is, but if it is an ankle fracture dislocation, which can normally be treated with a plate and screws on the outside, screws on the inside, you'd be looking at a few months before he's back in action. And I think that the most important thing we have to think about is first making sure that he goes through the surgery well, there's no infection afterwards, he doesn't get stiff, and if all that goes well, then we can worry and focus more on him getting back into being an athlete. I
mean, specifically for a basketball player, where is this going to affect him the most? Is it the jumping? Is it the lateral movement?
Yeah, it can definitely affect all of those things. So the key is to try to make sure that the bones heal properly and solidly. The angle at which the bones heal has to be perfect. And so, it makes it more difficult in that sense, because if you're off by a millimeter in terms of how things heal and the angles in which they heal, it can put a lot of stress on the ankle for future arthritis.
Would you expect him to make a full recovery?
Other guys have done it. They've been able to get back on the field with surgery for ankle fracture dislocations. I think it's a little too early to tell. We have to see how the surgery goes first.
And would there be any possibility he could return this season?
Oh, this season, I'd hedge my bets.